The Jacksonville City Council is facing big issues, including a property tax referendum, public safety, affordability, and much more. And next month, every voter in the city can vote in a special election for an at-large seat on the City Council. We're talking with the candidates in the race. Plus, in 4 short years, the Jacksonville University College of Law has become one of the best law schools in Florida, including a bar passage rate above 90% last year. The founding dean, Nick Allard, joins us to discuss the law school and its future. All that on This Week in Jacksonville. Good morning. I'm Rick Mullaney, News4JAX political analyst and the executive director of the Haskell Public Policy Institute at Jacksonville University. I'm filling in for Kent Justice today. He'll be back next week. The special election for the Jacksonville City Council at-large Group 1 seat is August 18th. It is being held because Terrence Freeman will be stepping down to run for the state legislature. 2 candidates seeking election to the City Council are joining us this morning. One of those candidates is Moné Holder, who joins us right now. And Moné, good morning, and thank you so much for being with us.
Good morning, Rick. Thank you for having me.
Well, let's talk about this council race and your candidacy. How about telling us about your background and why you are running for this City Council seat?
Absolutely. So I grew up in a working class family, surrounded by very strong women. But my grandfather, who is an Air Force veteran, was a union leader, really instilled in us the importance of serving others and standing up for things that are right, even when it's not popular. So fast forwarding, I received my bachelor's degree in political science at Florida A&M University, and I also received my master's in public administration from Florida A&M University. During my time in Tallahassee, I worked in the Florida legislature for members of the House and the Senate, as well as the House Democratic Office, and that's where I got my experience in policy and legislation. I've spent almost the last 2 decades working in nonprofit executive leadership at Florida Rising, where I've advocated for marginalized communities across the state for issues such as voting rights, criminal justice reform, and housing justice. In 2023, I was appointed to the Jacksonville Planning Commission by Mayor Deegan, where I am currently the first Black woman to serve as chair. So I'm running not only just to bring my knowledge and expertise and my love for Jacksonville to the City Council, I'm running because I believe that families need to live in a city that's affordable. They need to live in neighborhoods they feel safe in, and they need a city council that puts families first.
So you mentioned policy and legislation, and of course serving the people of Jacksonville. One big issue is going to be the city budget. In fact, tomorrow, Donna Deegan, the mayor, will be outlining this $2 billion budget for the city. And one of the big issues you'll be facing, of course, is this property tax referendum in November. In that referendum, the homestead exemption will increase from $50,000 to $150,000 next year, and $250,000 the year after that. According to the council auditor, that would cause a shortfall of loss of about $300 million in revenue. Some say this is, of course, needed tax relief and that spending has been out of control in the state. Others say this will result in sharp cuts to services such as police and fire, and there'll be new other taxes. What is your position on this referendum and why?
So if the referendum passes, it'll be devastating to our communities. You alluded to it, Rick, just now and in other segments, that the first to be hit the hardest is public services. So we're talking about our parks, our libraries, we're talking about trash collection. We're also talking about fire and safety, being able to afford to have the adequate amount of resources that those department needs will take a cut, and that's critical to our city. Unfortunately, this referendum will place, policies from Tallahassee in ahead of home rule and allowing Jacksonville and Jacksonville residents to decide what services that we need in order for us to thrive. So I just encourage voters to do their due diligence to really understand the long-term and devastating impacts that this referendum will have and make a really informed decision in November.
Let me ask you something. You're taking a look at how this city council is functioning. And in particular, they'll have this budget and they'll have public safety, parks. You talked about it earlier. What do you think about how the city council is functioning, and how might you operate a little bit differently?
So to be honest, I think we need change on the city council. Been doing this work for 20 years as far as talking to folks in communities and sitting at kitchen tables, and people definitely feel like they're not being listened to. Over the last couple of months, we have witnessed council leadership place, political favors in helping out their buddies over investments in communities. So if I'm elected, I will definitely, know better and do better when it comes to serving the city.
Well, let me come back to one issue the council will be dealing with. Just this past week, of course, the sheriff asked for increased funding for his budget. That budget is already total public safety, not just police and fire, about 1.2 of the $2 billion. Do you support that increase, and what do you see your role in city council when it comes to public safety?
So yes, as you mentioned, about 50% of our city's general operating budget goes to police and fire. Our mayor has also negotiated historic pensions to make sure we bring the best and the brightest folks to our police and fire workforce, and I wholeheartedly support that. I do also think we need to balance investments. As it relates to public safety, I don't think it eases the anxiety of residents just to add more police, but also we should add investments in things such as parks, after-school programs, sports activities in the city, ensuring that our seniors don't have to worry about where they're getting their next meal, and also food insecurity. So not only do we need to react to public safety or to crime, but we can make more investments to help prevent it.
So let me ask you, and what would you think are sort of the top 3 challenges facing the city of Jacksonville today, and what would you do about them on city council?
So first, it would be affordability. Many Jacksonville residents think that the cost of living in Jacksonville is too high, and I agree. I think second, it would be public safety. So as I mentioned, not only investing rightfully in our police and our fire, but making sure we have the resources we need for our seniors and our children. And lastly, ensuring that there are checks and balances on our city council to make sure that we aren't putting public interest before the needs of our families and communities across the entire city of Jacksonville.
So we're getting into about our last minute, so I'm going to give you a little chance here. I'm going to ask you, for the people of Jacksonville, why should they be voting for you?
They should vote for me because I plan to put people first over politics. I want to see investments in the entire city of Jacksonville, and I believe every single resident here should enjoy quality of life.
Well, I want to thank you for being on today's program. Great having you with us.
Thank you.
And thanks for joining us. We have to take a short break. When we return, Deborah Wesley, another candidate for the at-large city council seat, joins us on This Week in Jacksonville.
You're watching This Week in Jacksonville.
Welcome back, and thanks so much for staying with us. Today we are joined by Deborah Wesley, who's seeking election to the Jacksonville City Council in a special election on August 18th. Deborah, thank you so much for being with us today. Glad to have you. Exciting race, seat for the City Council, high stakes. How about telling our viewers what in your background has prepared you to serve and why you're running for the Jacksonville City Council?
Sure. Well, I am a lifelong resident of the city of Jacksonville. I attended public schools here. I'm a 1989 graduate of Jean Ribault Senior High School. After graduating high school, I joined the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. And after serving 35 years, I recently retired as a commander on the sheriff's appointed staff. And outside of work, I spent decades serving families in one of the most vulnerable areas in our city through youth sports and community outreach at the Forest View Athletic Association. And so I am running for Jacksonville City Council at-large Group 1 because Jacksonville is at an important crossroads right now, and I care about the citizens that live here. I believe that Jacksonville deserves strong, experienced, principled leadership someone who serves with integrity, accountability, who will listen, and always put people before politics. I am that candidate.
Well, certainly you've outlined the importance of service and leadership, and one of the big issues facing this city council in the state of Florida is the budget. Of course, the mayor delivers an address tomorrow, $2 billion. And the overhang is this property tax referendum in November, increasing the homestead exemption. Some say that this is needed tax relief and that spending is out of control. Others say this is going to cost cuts in critical services such as police and fire, which is your public safety, your background, and more taxes. So my question is, are you supportive or opposed to this amendment, this referendum, and why?
Well, I support responsible tax relief, but I also believe we have a responsibility to ensure that the essential services that our citizens need, that those things are protected as well. So, you know, if this referendum passes, we're going to be looking at a approximate $300 million shortfall in our budget. And that is a major concern, because we will definitely be looking at some pressure with our public spending. So the first thing I would do is take a look at the budget, prioritize what is essential, eliminate waste, improve efficiency, and set clear spending priorities. And always do that before ever asking taxpayers to pay more on anything. So.
Well, speaking of those priorities, when you look at that $2 billion budget, about 1.2 is for public safety. Portion of that, big part is police. And just this last week, the sheriff asked for greater funding. So if you're on the city council, what is your position on the increased request for funding for the sheriff's office and your role in public safety, especially given your background?
Yes. So public safety is priority number one. We all want to be safe in our communities. We want our children to be safe. We want our senior citizens to be safe. And so in order to be safe, first of all, we have to realize that Jacksonville is a growing city. While we're not growing in land mass, we're growing in population. And so in these neighborhoods, we're gonna need officers. And with that, there's gonna be budget needs and expenses. And my experience with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office in overseeing contracts and budgets, I have the background knowledge, and I kind of understand what those needs really are, things that you don't think, the average person just doesn't think about. So in the sheriff's office, for example, on the correction side, the sheriff is responsible for 3 correctional facilities, and outside of salaries and benefits, we have equipment, we have facilities that have to be taken care of, and then there are so many other things that we just don't think about or know about. So I will always support public safety. I was working with the department when the unthinkable happened some years ago, when we had police officers getting laid off.
So let me ask you something on this public safety piece.
Yes.
Is that what are your top 3 challenges facing the city of Jacksonville, and what would you do about them? Is that one of them?
Yes, so public safety is
Okay.
Definitely one of them. I filed to run for this race over a year ago, so I've been speaking with citizens throughout the community for over a year now. Public safety is always priority number one. And one of the concerns is, while crime has trended down in some categories, but quick response time and the public's trust, I should say, the public's trust in public safety remains a concern and an issue as well.
Well, let me ask you 2 quick questions. We're a little short on time. One is, take a look at this city council and how they're operating, and what do you think they might be doing right, and what might you do differently? And then my last part is, why should the people of Jacksonville be voting for you?
Yes, sir. So I think that one of the things that the current city council may be doing right is taking a deep dive into our budget. We have to be responsible with how we're spending our taxpayers' money. But one of the things I think we can work on is listening more, being accessible, and working together. When we're sitting at the table, we may not always agree or see things eye to eye, but at the end of the day, the priority and the goal is to serve the citizens of this county. And so I think we have to learn how to play together.
Very quickly, a little over time, 10 seconds, why should the people of Jacksonville be voting for you?
Well, my 35 years of leadership experience and my decades of community service has prepared me for this. I am ready to serve on day one.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Yes,
we really
sir.
do appreciate it. We have to take a quick break. When we return, the remarkable story of the Jacksonville University College of Law. That's next on This Week in Jacksonville.
You're watching This Week in Jacksonville on Channel 4.
Welcome back. Jacksonville is the largest metropolitan area in the nation without a law school, when the Jacksonville University College of Law was established 4 years ago. Since then, it has become one of the top law schools in the state of Florida, a truly remarkable story. Joining us to discuss the law school is Nick Allard, the Dean of the Jacksonville University College of Law. Dean Allard went to Princeton, attended Oxford as a Rhodes Scholar, graduated from Yale Law School, and after practicing with national law firms, he became the Dean of the Brooklyn School of Law, and then the founding Dean at the Jacksonville University College of Law in 2022. Dean, thank you so much for being with us. That was a long list, by the way, but Jacksonville University is very pleased to have you as Dean, and I'm going to start off with a very straightforward question. In 4 short years, how has it been possible for this law school to have become truly one of the top law schools in Florida during that time?
Well, Rick, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to collaborate with you, as we do all the time with the Public Policy Institute and the law school, and we're even co-located now downtown at our beautiful downtown location. So it's just great to be here. This is one of my favorite topics. So the answer to the question is that, I did my own diligence when I came down here, and success was the only option. And so the ingredients for success were really the careful planning over 10 years and the quality of the ingredients, like it is with good cooking, and that starts with people. So the faculty, including the people from the university that we work so closely with, some of whom have taught at law schools before, knew a lot about it, and the students are fabulous, but also the secret weapon is the bench and bar. The other thing I'll mention, Rick, and I'll just wrap there on this question, is that we have succeeded because we're new, not despite we're being new. So in every single aspect, our ambitions were not to accept what others might think of a new place, but to shoot for delivering the very best legal education. I believe we've been doing that. We came to a fork and we took it. On one path, we have been providing to our students, and they've been taking advantage of it, the very best traditional, all the basics, the fundamentals. If we were painting, it would be Rembrandt style, the traditional stuff. And we're doing a great job, and you can check the outcomes, bar passage, jobs, everything else. On the other hand, we're able to show a little Jacksonville Pollock innovation. And we are picking and choosing among the best and exploring the things that increasingly law schools are doing. But I'll tell you right now, it's better to start fresh and to do new, exciting things and be in the forefront than to retrofit. So we actually have an advantage, and so that's a sum.
Well, there's some objective criteria here. You mentioned bar passage rate last year over 90%, truly extraordinary in the state. But the other thing, for all new law schools, they have to go through an accreditation process, and the provisional accreditation here was record time. How about for our viewers, updating on what is this accreditation process for the new law school? Where is Jacksonville University, and what's the future hold?
I'm really glad you asked that question. I just came from a 2-day all law deans in the country who are discussing this very issue about the future accreditation. But first, some breaking news. Great news is we're expecting to hear at the end of August about our reaffirmation. I'm very confident in the outcome. We just finished last March our automatic 2-year review. It could not have gone better, I'm very confident. And in fact, we were encouraged, and this is the breaking news, that we are accelerating and already have a date for another site visit next March. And so next fall, we should know whether or not we have full accreditation. We now have initial accreditation, and so we're very optimistic. Now, I'm really grateful for the question because there's a lot of confusion and uncertainty. The most frequent question I get now is, are you going to be accredited? And so here's the news flash. National portable accreditability is very important. Also, the rigor of accreditation is very important, and there are many other benefits. And we're going to continue to be accredited and pursue that, as every other law school that's already accredited in Florida will do.
Well, Nick, you're going to welcome next month the 5th cohort of students, at 4 years old, your 5th cohort. How about describing that cohort in terms of size and talent and your expectations for this new class of 2026 entering the law school?
Like their 4 predecessor classes, this is already the 5th coming in, I can't believe it. They are fabulous, and it's just, we're so proud to have them. We're expecting 110, and they come from 16 states in addition to Florida and Georgia. Florida has 85 students, but North Florida has 50 of the students that are coming in. Georgia has 6, and then several other states, some, Rick, that you have been in or recognize, Alabama, Arizona, California, New Jersey, across the board, every part of the country, and in Canada as well. And I've recently been in Oxford University, London universities, and Cambridge University, talking to students who are interested in considering coming to us. So we have global reach.
I want to make sure, we're a little short on time, but I want to make sure we talk about artificial intelligence a little bit and its impact, what it means for law schools, what it means for lawyers. You've written about this extensively. You've talked about it extensively. How about talking about your thoughts on artificial intelligence, the law school, and legal education?
You know, there's a lot of people who think that my intelligence has always been artificial. So there's two different directions, and I'll tell you which one we're leaning into. There are educators who are, as has happened throughout history, leaning away, being cautious, being concerned, dithering. We are going the other direction, at Tim Kost's direction to start with us, and under Lisa Sutherland, all the initiatives going on. We are in the forefront, and it is our obligation to prepare our law students for the future, and the future is AI, and it's already, and that's what they need. It's already in the marketplace, it's already used. And we would do them a disservice if we are not teaching them how to use it, what to be concerned about, how to ethically use it, and how to better serve people with more affordable, high-quality education by automating. Now, at the beginning of the year, I said that there are a lot of hand-wringers, and I said that AI is going to keep lawyers busy for decades, and that's what I believe.
Nick, thank you. Just the final words for today's program, and good luck in this academic year ahead.
Thank you, Rick.
And thank all of you for joining us on air on Channel 4, the CW17, online at news4jax.com, and streaming on News4JAX Plus. Kent Justice returns next week. I'm Rick Mullaney with the Haskell Public Policy Institute at Jacksonville University. Have a great day.
See why every day more people are choosing News4JAX, Northeast Florida and South Georgia's #1 source for local news.